The process of unearthing ancient artifacts usually unfolds like this. An archaeologist makes the find, and if they possess the expertise to identify or interpret it, they will. If not, they'll consult a scientist for insight. When the scientists fall short, what's left is a full-blown mystery. And we love those kinds of mysteries because they're exactly what we turn into brilliant videos like this one. Number 15. Stone of Destiny. Any visit to Edinburgh Castle wouldn't be complete without seeing the Stone of Destiny inside the royal palace. I mean, it's amazing. This ancient block has been tied to Scottish royalty for over 1,000 years. For centuries, it was used during the coronation of Scotland's kings, until 1296, when England's King Edward I took it and had it built into his throne at Westminster Abbey. Since then, it's been part of the coronation of every English and British monarch, including Queen Elizabeth II. Scotland never accepted its removal. In 1950, 4 Scottish students broke into Westminster and pulled off a bold heist, returning it to Scottish soil. It was found soon after at Arbroath Abbey, about 500 miles away. Queen Elizabeth officially returned the stone in 1996. It's now displayed back in Edinburgh Castle. But where it came from, and how it first gained sacred status, is still a mystery nobody's been able to explain or prove. Number 14. Newberry Tablet. As with many weird ancient items, the authenticity of this tablet is still hotly debated. According to local accounts, it was found in 1896 by 2 lumberjacks while clearing land in Newberry. Alongside it were 2 small clay figurines, but the tablet drew immediate attention. 140 strange symbols carved neatly into a grid. Experts at the time, including those from the University of Michigan and the Smithsonian, couldn't identify the script and labeled the whole thing a fake. But some modern researchers believe the characters resemble ancient Minoan writing, despite the Minoans living on Crete and vanishing 3,000 years ago. That connection should be impossible. Sadly, time hasn't been kind to the piece. It's now so badly eroded that its symbols are barely visible. What remains is kept at the Fort de Bois Museum in St. Ignace, Michigan. But even in its crumbled state, the tablet continues to stir up questions no one can properly answer. Number 13. Rattlesnake Disc. The rattlesnake disc is one of the weirdest objects recovered from the Moundville site in Hale County, Alabama. Also known as the serpent disc, it's believed to originate from the Mississippian Moundville culture between the 13th and 14th centuries. A local farmer came across the disc while working his fields in the late 1800s and passed it on to Eugene Allen Smith, Alabama's state geologist. Today, the artifact is housed at the University of Alabama's Jones Archaeological Museum. Because it was so well preserved when found, some suspected it might be a modern forgery. But its authenticity has since been verified. The disc shows 2 horned rattlesnakes coiled around each other, forming a circle around a human hand, complete with an eye in the center of the palm. Traces of pigment still cling to the surface, suggesting it was once brightly colored. While its craftsmanship is great, the meaning behind it is a mystery. Number 12. Henricus Martellus Germanus. We now know Christopher Columbus didn't discover America, nor was he the first European to set foot there. Still, he was a skilled navigator, working with limited tools when he crossed the Atlantic in 1492. One such tool was a 500-year-old map, now called the Martellus map, created in 1491. Though time had worn it down, researchers in 2018 used imaging technology to uncover long-faded details. German cartographer Henricus Martellus captured Europe with surprising accuracy and managed a decent representation of the Mediterranean. But from there, his precision slipped. Asia was wildly misrepresented, and the base of Africa looked like a boot. Most puzzling of all, he marked a large landmass in the South Pacific, precisely where Australia lies, centuries before it was officially documented. Australia's European discovery didn't occur until more than 100 years later. Was it a wild guess? Or could someone have reached the continent long before history acknowledges? The map doesn't answer. It only complicates. Number 11. Sacro Catino. Another relic rumored to connect with Christ is the Sacro Catino, also called the Genoa Chalice. According to legend, it reached Genoa in 1101, brought back by Guglielmo Embriaco during the First Crusade after the capture of Caesarea. For centuries, it was believed to be made of solid emerald and said to be the dish Jesus used during the Last Supper. That fantasy held until modern scientific testing revealed the vessel is actually crafted from green-colored glass. That revelation all but disqualified it from being Christ's plate. Glass of that complexity didn't exist in his era. Still, believers hold firm. Some say it could have been an imitation or a ceremonial replica, while others think its sacredness lies more in its story than its substance. Though its authenticity is questionable, the Sacro Catino remains revered and is now housed at the Museo del Tesoro in the Cathedral of San Lorenzo. Its mythology keeps it sacred, emerald or not. Number 10. Norse rune finds in Oslo. In 2021, archaeologists from the Norwegian Institute for Cultural Heritage Research announced the recovery of two significant rune-covered items in Oslo. One is a bone etched with Norse writing, and the other is a wooden fragment bearing inscriptions on both sides, written in a mix of Old Norse and Latin. Full translation of the wooden piece isn't possible yet, but part of it reads the classic Latin line, "Into your hands, O Lord, I commit my spirit." The opposite side carries the phrase, "Hold the Holy Lord's hand over brings spirit." It is true. The rune-inscribed bone remains more cryptic, but it marks Oslo's first rune bone discovery in over 30 years. Both artifacts seem deeply personal, and the use of Latin challenges the idea that such language was reserved only for medieval church elites. Instead, this suggests regular people may have also embraced Latin alongside Norse in personal prayers or daily communication. Number 9. Ancient coma figurines. A collection of unusual ancient figurines discovered in Ghana first went on display in 2013. Nearly a decade later, archaeologists still haven't figured out exactly what they represent. Some are as old as 1,400 years and are believed to have been used in rituals, possibly to summon ancestral spirits or deities to fight off disease. The artifacts were unearthed from two earthen mounds near the village of Yikpabongo. Some experts believe the mounds functioned as shrines built by the same people who created the statues. Each figurine is unique. One features a crocodile head, another a chameleon, and a third has two human heads. Medical researchers have suggested the figures may also reflect real cases of congenital disorders like encephaly, which still affects children in Ghana today. A University of Manchester study revealed internal channels inside the statues, possibly used for pouring liquids during rituals, but it's theories. Number 8. The Shroud of Oviedo. You've likely heard of the Shroud of Turin, but the Shroud of Oviedo deserves far more attention. Unlike Turin's shroud, which is widely disputed, Oviedo's relic might genuinely have touched Jesus Christ. This blood-stained linen strip is preserved in the Camara Santa of Oviedo's Cathedral of San Salvador in Spain. It's believed to have been wrapped around Christ's head after his crucifixion and is mentioned in John 20, verse 6-7. The earliest historical record of it comes from 570 CE, when Antoninus of Piacenza wrote that it was heavily guarded in a cave near Jerusalem's St. Mark's Monastery. Fleeing Persian invasions, believers are said to have brought it to Spain around 616. Although carbon testing suggests it dates to the 7th century, that conflicts with the item's already established timeline. Researchers suspect oil contamination skewed the results. Despite the dating controversy, its chain of custody is stronger than most relics, making it one of Christianity's most compelling artifacts. Number 7. Bom Jesus shipwreck. In 2016, the long-lost Portuguese vessel Bom Jesus was finally identified deep inland along Namibia's Skeleton Coast. The region is littered with shipwrecks, but this one had gone unnoticed since vanishing in 1533. It had been sailing from Lisbon to India and somehow ended up stranded far from any modern shoreline. Archaeologists believe the crew perished aboard as human remains were found alongside the cargo. But remarkably, the treasure on board stayed intact. The haul included elephant tusks, copper ingots, solid gold bars, and bronze cannons, once low-value items, now considered historical artifacts. The full collection has been valued at around $13 million. Because the ship was Portuguese, the government had a legal right to claim the contents, but it generously waived ownership. That allowed Namibia to take full possession of the find. The vessel's exact route remains a mystery, but its recovery marks one of Africa's most valuable and well-preserved maritime archaeological discoveries to date. Number 6. The Bronze Age Lady. In February 2017, German archaeologists opened a Bronze Age tomb and found it packed with treasures. Inside was the body of an unidentified woman, buried with a stunning array of gold, amber, and imported goods, suggesting she held significant status. The grave dates back to 583 BCE, and the woman, estimated to be around 30 when she died, is now simply referred to as the Lady. Her burial chamber was constructed from wood and lined with luxury. Golden earrings, amber beads, fur-lined clothing, and bronze bracelets were just a few of the 2,700-year-old items beside her. Among the stranger finds were a fossilized ammonite and a petrified sea urchin. The amber appears to be from the North Sea, while her bracelets may have originated near England. Either she was unusually well-traveled for her time, or her connections brought the world to her. In any case, her tomb offers rare insight into Bronze Age prestige and trade. Number 5. Nanteos Cup. Another piece of supposed sacred tableware lives in Wales, the Nanteos Cup, currently kept at the National Library of Wales in Aberystwyth. It's long been rumored to have been carved from the true cross itself. Since the 1800s, people have claimed the cup can heal illnesses simply by touch. Some even said it to be the Holy Grail, though with over 200 Holy Grails scattered across Europe, that's a crowded claim. In 1977, experts studied the cup and concluded it was made from elm wood and likely dates to the late Middle Ages. That makes it far too recent to have any direct biblical ties. Most likely it's a mazer, a handleless wooden drinking vessel that may have once featured a metal rim given the groove around its edge. As for its origin, that's been lost entirely, which only adds to its legend. Truth or not, its reputation as a healing relic hasn't faded. Number 4. Viking Crucifix Pendant. In April 2016, a metal detectorist scanning a farm field on the Danish island of Fyn discovered something small but historically big, a gold crucifix pendant, more than 1,100 years old. That detail alone pushes the presence of Christianity in Denmark back earlier than previously documented. Before this, most scholars considered King Harald Bluetooth's gelling stone from 965 CE the nation's first clear Christian artifact. But this pendant, likely worn by a Viking woman, predates it by several decades. It's possible she was an early convert, but another theory suggests she may have stolen it during a raid and kept it as personal treasure. Either way, the crucifix is one of Denmark's oldest representations of Christ and rewrites part of its religious history. It's incredibly detailed for its size and was probably made by skilled hands. Its discovery proves that religion and religious artifacts moved in more complex ways across Viking-era Europe. Number 3. Rare silver penny. In October 2020, retired metal detectorist John Denham unearthed something extraordinary in a plowed field in Wallingford, Oxfordshire, a near-pristine silver penny dating to 1139. The coin was issued by Henry of Anjou, who was trying to gain control of southwest England during a turbulent period of civil war. Only 9 such coins are known to exist, and just 2 of them, including Denham's, are still intact. When it goes to auction, it's expected to fetch over $10,000. Its remarkable condition is pure luck. Had Denham arrived any later, farming equipment might have destroyed it. Historically, the coin is significant not just for its rarity, but for what it represents. A moment when rival factions used currency to stake political legitimacy. Henry of Anjou's gamble paid off. He eventually became King Henry II. But thanks to this penny, we now have a piece of that high-stakes power struggle preserved in silver nearly 900 years later. Number 2. Saka Gold Treasure. In late 2018, archaeologists working in Kazakhstan's Tarbagatai Mountains found a massive trove of gold jewelry, over 3,000 pieces in total, dating back 2,800 years. The cache was found near the Yeleke Sazi burial site, an area linked to the Saka culture, a powerful offshoot of the Scythians who once ruled much of Central Asia. The level of craftsmanship in the artifacts is remarkable. Bell-shaped earrings, animal figurines, and gemstone-adorned necklaces display precision that rivals modern techniques. Many of the items are thought to have belonged to high-ranking members of society, likely buried in elite mounds that still haven't been fully excavated. The artistry is so advanced, some scholars argue it surpasses contemporary expectations for the period. Baltic amber and imported materials suggest long-distance trade, raising new questions about the reach of the Saka people. With an estimated 200 burial mounds still untouched in the area, this discovery might be just the beginning of something much larger. Number 1. Bronze coin hoard found in China. In December 2022, a massive hoard of bronze coins, 1.5 tons in total, was found in Shuangdun Village, Jiangsu Province, China. The coins, tied together in bundles with straw rope, were discovered stacked in careful rows. All of them were minted between the late Tang dynasty and the Song dynasty, spanning roughly 100 years between the 9th and 10th centuries. The fact that they were buried so neatly suggests someone hid them deliberately, likely intending to come back. But they never did. Just a few miles from the site, historians recorded a battle between the Song and Jin forces in the 10th century. Some experts believe this stash may have been military wages for troops stationed nearby. Either way, it's one of the largest coin caches ever found in the region. The level of preservation, down to the intact rope, makes it even more impressive. Someone tried to protect this fortune and then vanished with the reason why. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you pretty soon.